right, guys. Hey, Paul McLean, welcome to the podcast. And today, guys, I have a very special guest on with me, somebody that's been with us for not a long time, but recently has had some great breakthrough in her business to the tune of helping over 20 families last month. And I have no doubt that's really just the beginning as far as where it's going to go. And we're going to unpack, Valerie, where she got started, how she found the company, what's big breakthroughs, where it's going, and really just getting to know you. And I'm excited to get to know you better, Valerie. So appreciate you joining and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to have you. So let's start. Let's get right into it.
Sounds great.
What did you do prior to Family First Life, and how did you find Family First Life?
Yeah, absolutely. So prior to Family First Life, I am an Army vet. I also was a police officer.
That's awesome. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. My pleasure. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I felt safer when you hopped on. Typically, I don't feel safe when somebody hops on a podcast. When you got on, I just felt like there was a level of safety. Like you could take somebody out.
I am a mom of three, so
that helps as well.
That nurturing sense to me, I guess. But
then
after those two things, I was in the restaurant business, and then I had an injury, and that took me out of that. So it was, all right, we got to make a change here. And so I started at my practice company, which was cold calling and door knocking, and then this kind of just fell in our lap. It was actually my husband who discovered it. He just saw a Facebook ad and kind of looked into it.
So you were cold calling and door knocking?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that experiencing that, starting there, led you to being more appreciative and taking more advantage of the opportunity here coming from that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I will gladly buy a lead than knock on a door.
Yeah.
That have, to people who haven't been asking for it.
You know what I think, Valerie, sometimes, and it's just a weird thought, it's probably not very good thought, but I think sometimes I just want to take all the agents that don't work real hard and that are underappreciative of the opportunity they've got and ship them to a company that makes you cold call and door knock. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like sometimes I want to take my kids and I want to shift them. I want to just ship them out to Afghanistan, and just drop them off there for 4 months. So when they come back, they actually appreciate what they have. You know what I mean?
Sure. You don't even need to go that far. Just go to
right,
an underprivileged area.
Oh yeah, I could take them to D Street where I live, and they definitely understand the concept of that. Yep. But I love that. So you started there, saw this. So what was a big, turning point for you to get to a point where you're helping 20 families in a month? Were you helping 20 families of a month over there?
No, not at all.
Not even close. Okay.
No.
Well, what changed? What took place? What was the biggest thing you said, this was the breakthrough that led me to go out there and do that?
As far as the
helping 20 families. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's mindset, taking, waking up and being like, I'm going to be at the office until 8 o'clock, no matter what, get my appointments. Because prior to this, I'd be like kind of every other newbie in the business, or oh, it's 5:30, it's time to go home, it's 5 o'clock, I'm dipping, even though I only have 8 appointments.
Yeah.
And then it's just you feel terrible about yourself and you're like, why did I do it? And then it was kind of one of those things where it's you know what? I'm going to stay there till 8. And then what happens is you get all your appointments and it's 4:30 and you're leaving before you left before.
That's probably the biggest point, Valerie. If everybody could get that. I like when the Bible says who is given much, much is required. Mm-hmm. I think everybody's oh, I want to be self-employed. I want to be my own boss. I don't like working for that person. Don't want to work for that person. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And it's but do you really? Because you have to be so disciplined when now you do have an opportunity and the option to choose to do what you feel like doing. Because guess what? Our feelings are usually derived from some kind of disastrous, dysfunctional thing to do. If I just did what I felt like doing all day, I would be a disaster, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's such a big point. And when you start to just come up, so you came up with non-negotiables.
Yes, 100%.
Before you knew what to do, but would things kind of come in the way and take you off from doing it, distractions or whatever?
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's why I made sure that I got to an office, because when I first started this, I was dialing from home, and you got TVs and you got dogs and you got kids and you're like, okay, nope, that's not gonna happen. So then the car was the office, and then a work spots office came into play here in Kansas City, so that's where I'm at. Every Monday and every Thursday, I'm here, and it's been good, and I learn a lot from these people. Like I never would have prior to. I never would have known about them had I not come to the office.
I love that. Now, let me ask you this: as far as agents in the office, are you the last one there typically, or is there a couple other people?
There's
the last one there.
I call us the core four. Sometimes the Fab Four, because we're always the first ones here and the last ones to leave, and we're also the higher producing individuals here that protect the most families. Not the guy that gets here at 9:30 and leaves at 11.
Exactly. I love that. So it's like, for me, I always want to look at commonalities, and so most people think I want to be a top producer. It's not that deep. Just why don't you just look at what the top producers do? Like join the Fab Four, which I like that, by the way. The Fab Four. I got 4 girls. Maybe that's what I call them, the Fab Four. But do what they do. If they get here at 7, why would you think you can get there at 9 and get the same results? That's almost like arrogant, prideful, and egotistical. Like, what makes you think that you can do what they're not doing and get a result that they're getting? You know, like for me, Valerie, I was like, I'll copy anything. You know, what time you wake up, you take cold shower, warm shower, what kind of shampoo you use. Like, I don't want to leave nothing to chance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's such a big deal, making sure that you look at that. So you started to become a really good custodian of your schedule, and that made a big difference. And you started to plug into the work spots office. What do you think like plugging into an office? And by the way, we have like 400 offices across the country. So anybody that's watching this that's looking to join Family First Life and is wondering, you know, am I going to be able to plug in and watch people that are good at this? Am I going to be able to put myself in an environment where I can help develop the disciplines? I could help really kind of to stick to my non-negotiables. Well, the answer is yes. We have them all over the place. So Valerie, for you, like, why did that make a big difference, having that office to plug into? Because you have your schedule mapped out. You know when you're going to start, when you're going to stop dialing. Why is the actual location made a difference for you as far as where you're doing that activity?
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, no distractions, right? It's an office. Like you can see the walls behind me, right? It's nothing fancy. It's 4 walls and a door, you know, some lights. But you can hear other people. You can hear other producers. So you can take little nuggets, right? And vice versa. And like there's been times where I'll be talking, like normally that door behind me is open. I'll be talking and I'll be like, okay, bye. Like not using my, overcoming my objectives, right? And I'll hear somebody yelling at me in the other room, like, why didn't you say this, right? Yeah, you're right, I should have, So we hear each other and we help each other because we're all one team. At the end of the day, we're all one team. We want to see everybody succeed. There's enough people in this world to protect that no matter how many thousands of agents there are, we can all be successful if we put in the work.
I agree, 100%. So your background prior to FFL wasn't like some strenuous sales experience, right?
No.
The systems kind of has done a lot to help you knowing what to say, how to say it, plugging into an environment that allows you to be disciplined and create these non-negotiables where even though you feel like maybe leaving at 6:30 sometimes when you haven't hit your appointments, you got other people that are looking at you. It's like that positive peer pressure, Like you have 3 kids, right?
I do.
So I got 5, and we had this whole like at-home learning. Did you do that with your kids?
Yes.
The at-home learning?
Yeah,
all right, so yeah, that was a blast. I got to deal with my wife and how she felt when I got back home from work about dealing with the at-home learning. But we had a kindergartner, and she couldn't. I mean, she didn't learn anything for like 9 months. And my wife's trying to teach her, but there's all these distractions. Like she's trying to learn, and like Peppa Pig's in the background or whatever they're watching at the time, and it's just different. But the moment she goes into school, all the things that she had such a hard time, saying yes to or doing, like when she looks to her right and left, and these other kids that are her age are doing it, she wants to fall in line with that. Mm-hmm. It's good peer pressure. It's positive peer pressure to do the right thing. And I think that's a great thing to do. So you put yourself in a good environment that keeps you doing the things you know you need to do. And all of a sudden the numbers show up, because the numbers can't beat you and you can't beat the numbers. And so what I want to wrap up with is this, like, for anybody that's looking to do something different, that says, I want to be self-employed. I'm kind of nervous and maybe even a little scared about being self-employed because I don't know what that's going to look like. I've never done it before. You know, is there going to be something that can help me, that cares about me, to lead me the way forward and show me how to do this thing? Can I actually believe in myself to do this thing? What do you have to say about that for that person? What would you tell them if that's what they're feeling and what they're thinking? Because I know you probably maybe thought the same thing.
Oh, 100%. It's scary. It's scary not having that income that is guaranteed, right? And so, but it's worth it. Oh man, is it worth it? It's hard. And you're going to get out of it what you put into it, hands down. And so if you think that, hey, I can take every single, night off after 5 and the weekends off, you will not succeed. You're going to have to put in the work, but put in the work now so then you don't have to work so hard later, for a few years. Okay. And are you going to get tired? Absolutely, you're going to get tired. But it's going to feel good that you put in the work, that you were able to provide for your family. And then if you have a baseball game or a football game or whatever it is with your children, you can take it off as long as you just load up your day before. Get your 15 appointments. Doesn't matter how you line them up. Do 10 on Friday and 5 on Saturday morning. You have the rest of the day off. Just get your 15 appointments.
I love that. I think a lot of people get frustrated working for an employer. I think a lot of times because they feel like they're not appreciated, and maybe they're not getting they're not getting rewarded for what they're putting in. Like they don't feel like they're getting compensated for what they deserve. And I think that's a very common thing, and it's hard to not feel that way. If I go the extra mile and I put a lot more into it, I can't just go get the next day paid off or whatever. If I double up. But when you're self-employed, it's like that double-edged sword where it's the most rewarding because you can do that. You can double up and then you can see the reward and the deserve more from that activity, and you're able to earn that day off because you doubled up and you could see the fruit from that. But the double edge to that is it's also very depressing, because if you don't do what you say you're going to do and you just start kind of doing you doing whatever you feel like doing because you can say yes to everything, you feel very depleted, insignificant, and not like you're doing anything. And then all of a sudden the results and outcomes look the same way. So it's like that double-edged sword. But I think it's the highest paying position you could ever have, or the lowest, depending on you. It's also the most rewarding or the most depressing, Yep. And the cool thing is it's up to you, but you've got people to show you the way forward. And so what I want to give out everybody an opportunity to do is, if you believe Valerie could help show you the way forward, you're like, I want to give this a shot, want to get my license, the licensing paid for, there's no fees, nothing with Family First Life. We have the highest comp in the industry. We'll help you out. We've got leads. You're not cold calling or bugging warm market. You got people that are interested. I believe most people would agree, because I feel this way, Valerie, like I would love to work with you. So if anybody that wants to work with you, how would they get in touch with you?
So I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I can, drop my my Instagram tag. I think it's at vstewart5 or vstewart5. And then it's just Valerie Stewart on Facebook. And then, my cell phone number, you can call me anytime, text me. You want it? It's 816-308-0059. Tell me who you are. I'm glad to talk with you.
Awesome. Well, hey, guys, I hope this helped, served you well. Valerie, it's great to get the chance to know you a little better, and phenomenal things and tips and takeaways that I got that have led you to go out there and serve 20-plus families in a month. And I really do believe, without a doubt, that this is just the beginning. You know what you look good in, Valerie? You look good wearing a red blazer,
Oh,
one of them Hall of Fame blazers.
Absolutely.
You look good in red.
Especially,
you look good.
February.
All right. Well, hey, red jacket means you served 400 families, and I have no doubt about you being able to go out there and do that. So, guys, make it a big week. Be strong. Stay steadfast. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Valerie.
Thanks.